Now, Senator Adolphus Wabara, chairman of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has urged the National Assembly to take decisive action to safeguard Nigeria's democracy, which he claimed was under threat of state capture. Wabara emphasized that the federal legislature should utilize its constitutional authority to mandate the use of the bimodal voters accreditation system, BVAS, and the electronic transmission of election results in the next elections. In a message marking his 77th birthday on Sunday, Wabara argued that these measures would ensure a fraud-free 2027 general election, reflecting the true will of the Nigerian people. He cautioned that anti-democratic forces were actively working to turn Nigeria into a one-party state, and that credible and transparent elections were the only way to counteract this threat. Wabara highlighted the dangers of a one-party system, warning that it could lead to the rise of a tyrannical regime, and speaking the truth to power and standing with the Nigerian people. Is Mr. Dayo Sobowale. Of course, he would be joining us to analyze this issue in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Sobowale.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale.
Right. Okay. Now, let's start by getting your, or Cynthia, since you're...
I know. I was wondering if I was Mr. Sobowale, why the camera was on me. But, you know, our gallery people are doing what they do. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
What specific challenges facing democracy would you say Wabara is referring to beyond... is it just focused on legislative independence, or you think it's something much deeper?
Well, whatever it is, let us focus on what he has said.
Okay.
Right. He was marking his birthday, and he's an elder statesman. So he knows what he's saying. You know, hitherto, I've always said that it's not possible for Nigeria to become a one-party state. But so many people have been bothered by that prospect. I want us to take them seriously. So I start by taking Wabara seriously. What he's trying to talk about are two things. The electronic voting. Electronic voting. That if we say we are doing electronic voting, we should stick to it. It's not that when we start voting and then we realize that the thing is not spontaneous. The result does not come out spontaneous. It depends on the whim and caprices of INEC, whether they upload the result before they announcing the result and all that. That was the mess you were in the other time. And what he's cautioning against is that electronic voting is the best guarantee of the integrity of our election, and that we should stick to it if we can. And that the National Assembly, which makes laws, should make laws in that regard. It is a very patriotic appeal which the National Assembly should heed. But more importantly, he's scared about the way our separation of powers is working out. He's scared about it. His fear is that there's a power grab, they call it power grab in the US, by the executive to swallow the other parties, and in swallow the other parties, eat up the judiciary, and take over the National Assembly. That is his fear. And in a way, you see, that could be possible. That could be possible. Because if you see the trend now, almost everybody is flocking to the APC, such that there is literally no opposition in the National Assembly. So it means if the president puts a bill through, there's nobody to...
Exactly.
And if they make laws, he won't even veto it because invariably they are in communion with each other. But then, I will say caution. Nigeria is a very big country. And we should not be, how do I put it? We should not be arranging a funeral of the opposition when it is still alive. That is my whole feeling. People are mustering up strength to oppose this government. From all quarters, Nasri is there, Atiku is there, Obi is there, and on a daily basis they criticize this government. I don't think these are people who will just kowtow to government just like that. So let's leave it at that for now.
All right, Mr. Sobowale, well said. Well, Wabara is also emphasizing the need for elder statesmen to speak truth to power. And he said that in today's Nigeria, that, you know, he, as you know, he spoke about himself not being scared to speak the truth to power. And then I'd like to know how you think, how influential are, you know, the statesmen, the elder statesmen in the current political landscape of Nigeria, and what role do they play in shaping the nation's political future?
They are already playing a role. It's a pity 2 elderly people died about the same time. That's Papa Yadivajo and Clark. Those were very vocal people, almost 90, and still going strong. So Wabara at 76 still has a long way to go to be doing it. Atiku is older than Wabara, and Atiku is monitoring this government on a daily basis. So there is no shortage of elders to monitor, and even youths. I think the youngest of them is Obi, and Nasri too is, I think, is younger than Obi or something like that. So we have a vibrant opposition, like I always say, and we have a vibrant democracy. But the fear is that the APC is swallowing literally everything inside. But then that's not hardly the fault of the APC. If your opponents are in disarray, you will supervise their disarray so that they don't have time to come and oppose you. In Lagos Island, there's a proverb. They say, your enemy, you pray for your enemy not to give way to a moving vehicle so they can eliminate him. That is politics. If the opposition is in disarray, it is not the duty of the party in power to keep them in order. So the opposition too should find a way of mustering strength and being united to face the government at the polls, 2027, and defeat them. Still a long journey, like I always say, but then I'm not as afraid as Wabara on things being one-sided. But one thing I want the legislature to listen to is its call for electronic banking.
Voting.
Electronic voting to be free and fair, and to be, as it is said in the Constitution and according to the workings of INEC.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Well said, Mr. Sobowale. Now, just wondering if, from your perspective, do you think Nigeria should consider constitutional reforms to strengthen legislative powers, or is this just a problem of implementation?
No, implementation. You have answered your question. That we don't need any reform. Let us work according to the letters of the Constitution. Let us work according to the letters of. See what Wabara has raised. It may sound sketchy. You know, all of us, we thought once the people have voted, we'll just see the result on the screens. But that's not what happened the other time. That is what he's saying. That let us follow the letter of the Constitution. Maybe the National Assembly should legislate penalty for us not following it, or find a way to make sure that INEC follows what is in the Constitution. And we don't need to be going to court for Supreme Court to be interpreting every time we vote. That's it.
Well, he's also calling for a legal backing to the use of beavers and electronic voting. How effective do you think these tools were for the 2023 elections, and what lessons do you think we can pick from that?
Legislation. Legal backing is making laws. That's what you just discussed.
Yeah, so I'm saying, what lessons do you think we learned from its use in 2023 so that we can prepare for 2027?
That is what I just said. That, you know, in 2023, everybody thought the result would be downloaded straight away and we see, but they didn't find out that way. And when they went to the Supreme Court validated what INEC did, that it is INEC can decide whether it is uploading before announcing or announcing before uploading. So that's it. And what he's saying is that let the law be clear.
Yes.
So that it doesn't need the Supreme Court to be interpreting it. Let it be broad and clear, and maybe perhaps impose penalty on violation before we get to the Supreme Court.
Okay. I definitely second that, and emphasis on that clarity as opposed to subject to interpretation. Thank you so much for your time and analysis. As always, the Rise News analyst, Mr. Dayo Sobowale, we appreciate your time. Thank you.